This afternoon, this is the follow-up to ML Rogers' John Deere loader drive shaft refit. It's also the first video due to my phone being clapped out. I went and got a new phone today. So this is an iPhone 14, my very first current model year phone that I've ever had, because my daughters always used to take my upgrades. So my production quality is going to be through the roof. I'm going to be like James Cameron making drive shaft videos now. So just stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about, this is the backup unit. I was going to say throw together, but I was serious about it. It's nice. But the genesis of this was, I was originally going to reuse their stub and slip off the original shaft to just make them a backup unit, like a fallback position in case something happens to the other one. So they wouldn't be totally out of business. And the reason what started that is I said I was amazed about three things: 1310 and the tube size. And this is the third thing right here. That flange, that's a common 3 3/4 bolt circle, 2 3/4 pilot spicer flange that's used on heavy equipment and has been forever. It's 1410 series, but they have them in several different sizes. I was amazed when that fit into this metric flange. And that's been my experience with a lot of metric stuff. Not down on metrics, it's kind of all the same to me. But it was 1310 U-joints, and then come to find out that flange bolts to this. That's a common spicer flange, like I said. The crazy part is there is no CV flange that will bolt to that. And I thought of everything to try and index it, and the way the splines were, the holes ran into each other, and if I had to put a sister plate on it, let's see, on the backside, the bolts would have been a problem. It wasn't good. That's why I went the other way. That's why I did it the way I did it. But this was kind of begging to be done because it's a weld yoke, a piece of tubing, and I thought I had a stub and a slip. Well, it turns out that this stub was, the slip was cracked. This yoke was cracked, but it's cracked through the center here when it tried to tear the yoke portion of the original flange yoke off. So this is the original flange. I bored it out, and I sunk a 2-inch 120 weld yoke into it and cooked it on there. So you can see the detail there. The stub and slip is 1310 stuff that it was a takeoff of something in my archives because the other one was rendered non-usable. They had a drop of tubing because I had to supply tubing, carved into a new stick, and this piece, the drop, worked out to be the right length for the standby unit. So that's all good. That's a winner. Part of the reason is there's a lot of articulating equipment out there that I've seen that have no CV where they articulate. They just have a simple U-joint. And this can easily do the angle it needs to. Once again, fallback position, that was my idea, just to give them some security or some spare parts. So there's the flange that I modified. That's the PTI flange. I don't know whether I talked about that yesterday, but you can see I heliarched the ring on it. So I basically rough machined a ring, bored it here, the ID, and shrunk it onto here. And I had weld preps on both sides, and I heliarched it, TIG welded it on there. And I've got a fixture to hold this, and carve this with the CNC mill and put the bolt circle in it. So that's how that lined up, and that's what holds it onto the fixture. So sorry about the lengthy, but this is an involved little project. Not little project. It always looks easiest when it's done. So we're gonna send this back to ML Rogers and say it's a home run for them.